Hey, what is up, everybody? This is Stevie Breach coming to you here as we take a look at Extreme Rules 2010. Pretty cool looking Sheamus DVD cover. I've had a chance to meet Sheamus twice in my life, and both times I've thought about getting this DVD cover signed, but I know that one time I got the Royal Rumble that he won. I got that signed by him, but I'm not sure what I got signed the other time. But this is a really cool cover that I'm sure signed would look really nice in somebody's collection. But as we look at the back of the Extreme Rules 2010 show, this was definitely a better show than the 2009 one was. You look over this, you got Batista and Cena on top. You've got Swagger going up against Randy Orton. Even though Swagger's one of my favorites, he sort of doesn't fit in right here. And then you've got Sheamus going up against Triple H right there. Pretty good show, top to bottom. Only a few forgettable matches, and those are down on the bottom. You've got the Extreme Makeover match for the Women's Championship, which Beth Phoenix won the championship by hitting the Glam Slam on Michelle McCool. And then you've got the strap match between JTG and Shad. The Crime Time broke up only a month before this pay-per-view, and they just basically lost a normal match on Monday Night Raw. They lost a lot of matches in their time, but for some reason after this, they started fighting each other, which led to them having a strap match at the pay-per-view. This match was honestly so bad that Shad got fired. And Shad never came back to WWE. I know that they do some indies and things like that. They're still involved in the wrestling business a little bit. But yeah, he never came back to WWE because of this one match being so bad. And they had a lot of plans to build him up as a big-time heel. They saw something in him. But in a strap match, it's where the guys are strapped together, and in order, they have to walk around the ring and hit all four corners. Chad beat the crap out of JTG in this match, dragged him around, but the only problem is that every time Shad touched a turnbuckle, JTG would touch him after he would. And right before Shad touched the last one, he took a moment to sort of show off, and JTG jumped from behind him and was able to hit the turnbuckle to get the win. So JTG beat him in the strap match. The beginning of the show, they had a gauntlet match, which was won by the Hart Dynasty, beating, it was Big Show and The Miz, the Show Miz. Show Miz came out to start the show, basically saying that they didn't have a match of the night and they wanted to have one. So Teddy Long, GM of SmackDown, came out and basically said, you guys want to have a match? Well, the match, and the winner is going to get a future tag title shot. So even though the Hart Dynasty beat the champions, they did not win the titles that night. From there we go to Edge versus Jericho in a steel cage match. This, of course, was continuing their feud from WrestleMania 26. This was not a championship match because of the cash-in on SmackDown by Jack Swagger, but these two guys still hated each other to the point they were not able to find a winner of a match on SmackDown to be the #1 contender, ending in a count-out. So they had to go out there and they had to beat the hell out of each other. This was a good match that was pulled out by Edge, getting the win here. Edge would go on to have a feud with... who did Edge have a feud with after this? Edge and Orton had a feud. That's what it was. They would fight on the next pay-per-view. And then we would go to Rey Mysterio versus CM Punk. If CM Punk loses, he has to get his head shaved. I thought that he was going to get his head shaved in this match. Honestly, I did, but it ends up that a masked man ends up being Joey Mercury. But somewhere along the way, they put the hair on the line, and Mysterio wins, and Punk has to get his head shaved. That's when Punk would start wearing the mask. It's one of the reasons that I really miss CM Punk in WWE, although I do admit that he might have whined and cried about a lot of things, but you know, when he was committed to something, he did it, and it worked. From there we go to Jack Swagger against Randy Orton. This is an Extreme Rules match for the World Heavyweight Championship. Jack Swagger beats Randy Orton clean. For anybody who thinks that Jack Swagger had one of the worst runs as a World Heavyweight Champion in WWE, remember that. He beat Randy Orton clean in the middle of the ring. Once it was over, Orton might have hit an RKO as Swagger was trying to leave the ring and walk away, but he beat him, and he beat him clean. From there we go to the Last Man Standing match between John Cena and Batista. This is, of course, the infamous duct tape match where Cena would get Batista wrapped around the corner, and Cena would duct tape Batista, and Batista would not be able to answer the call, and John Cena would get the victory. I remember that, this might have been the first time that I ever really groaned at John Cena. Definitely in 2010, John Cena was the guy that people loved to hate. And I really wasn't there yet, but that was one of the first pay-per-view endings that I really groaned. Like, really? Duct tape? It is what it is. So that's going to be what Extreme Rules 2010 was. It was a pretty good show. I definitely recommend you guys go check this out. 2010, of course, coming off of WrestleMania 26, it was one of the years that I really got back into professional wrestling. Of course, I would go to my first WrestleMania at WrestleMania 26. I would attend my first SummerSlam at SummerSlam 2010. And, of course, the Nexus would take off and really hightail us through the summer. So definitely check this show out. Pretty good year in 2010, and we'll see what you guys think.